Hey everyone, welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on a crisis that's practically invisible, but it's happening right now to companion parrots across Canada. We're going to dive into a really fascinating, systematic solution that's already underway. It's a completely overlooked corner of animal welfare, but this new initiative, the Canadian Parrot Welfare Index, or CPWI for short, is literally building the infrastructure from scratch to save it. Let's get into it.
To really wrap our heads around why this is such a crisis, we've got to look at the numbers. And honestly, the math here is totally unforgiving. I mean, imagine trying to plan out an 80-year commitment. Because these are highly intelligent, incredibly sensitive animals, and they can easily live anywhere from 20 to 80 years. That staggering timeline means they need decades of specialized care. They bond fiercely, they have highly specific dietary and environmental needs, and because they live so incredibly long, they almost inevitably end up outliving their human guardians.
So here's the roadmap for how the Canadian Parrot Welfare Index is tackling this. We'll start with the companion parrot crisis, move into Stream 1, the data foundation, then Stream 2, policy advocacy, hit Stream 3, the pension plan, and wrap up with a better future for parrots.
Section 1. The Companion Parrot Crisis, the Demographic Time Bomb.
We're looking at a perfect storm brewing right now. The baby boomer generation, who make up a massive share of Canada's long-term parrot owners and rescue founders, well, they're aging out of parrot ownership. And this is happening at the exact same time that inflation is just crushing rescue resources. I mean, the cost of food and specialized vet cares is totally skyrocketed. So you end up with this tragic repeat relinquishment cycle. Birds bounce from home to home as well-meaning but unequipped families try to take them in, it fails, and eventually the bird lands at an overwhelmed rescue with literally decades of life still ahead of it. And here's the kicker, the regulatory blind spot. Unlike dogs and cats, which have these tracked, funded welfare systems, parrots fall completely outside animal welfare policy. They exist in a total regulatory void.
To fix what is basically a massive systemic failure, the CPWI isn't just slapping a Band-Aid on it. They built an interdependent three-step solution. Step 1 is laying down a data foundation, which creates the hard evidence needed for Step 2, policy and advocacy. And then that policy recognition is what finally makes Step 3, the parrot pension plan, legally and structurally possible. They literally have to happen in exactly that order.
It really all anchors on this one crucial idea. You cannot manage what you cannot measure, and you cannot change what you cannot prove. Before we can protect these birds at a population level, we absolutely have to be able to prove what's happening to them. Because right now, decisions by rescues, vets, and governments are mostly running on gut feelings and anecdotes. But to get real funding and real protection, you need credible, measured proof.
Section 2. Stream 1, Data Foundation, Building the Evidence.
So how do they build that evidence? Well, the CPWI, led by Parrot Partners Canada and a coalition of 3 other major rescues, Greyhaven Exotic Bird Sanctuary, Mika's Birdhouse, and the Hamilton Aviary, are standardizing over 4,000 intake records spanning 20 years, and they're putting all of this into an AI-ready platform. The sheer rigor of this data collection is wild. We're talking about trained assessors who aren't just logging a bird's age. They're tracking physical health like feather quality, deeply specific stress indicators, and complete placement histories. When multiple rescues use that same validated tool, boom, you suddenly have a peer-reviewable national dataset. Now researchers and AI tools can actually track welfare trends over decades.
Section 3. Stream 2, Policy Advocacy, From Data to Change.
Okay, but data just sitting in a database doesn't actually improve a bird's life on its own, right? That's where Stream 2 comes in. It bridges the gap between knowing there's a crisis and getting decision makers to actually do something about it. By bringing actual, hard numbers to the table, the sector can finally present actuarial cost models to lawmakers. We're talking the hard mathematical lifespan risks and financial costs. Plus, parrots carry real public health implications, like zoonotic diseases, which, if you didn't know, are diseases that can jump from animals to humans. A national data set lets agencies like the Canadian Food Inspection Agency monitor those threats effectively, and that naturally opens the door to formal, recognized accreditation for parrot rescues and, crucially, public funding.
Now, all that macro-level policy work is totally essential, but it leads us directly to the most personal, pressing question for any parrot owner out there. What happens to the individual bird sitting in your living room right now when you can no longer care for it?
Section 4. Stream 3, Pension Plan, Pre-Financing Lifelong Care.
To stop a bird from bouncing between unprepared homes, this third stream introduces a super tangible financial product. It's basically a human-style pension plan, but for a bird. Think about the old way. A guardian passes away, the bird gets handed to an unequipped friend, the placement almost inevitably fails because of the bird's complex needs, and a rescue inherits a deeply traumatized animal with zero funding attached to it for the next 40 years. It's heartbreaking. But in the CPWI way, a guardian contributes to a pooled, professionally invested fund while they're still sharing their life with the bird. If relinquishment happens, the rescue receives a known bird along with its funding. The rescue can then place the bird in a new home, staying actively involved to support the new family with vet bills and food. They act as a lifelong financially stable safety net. It's a total game changer.
Section 5. A better future for parrots, the systemic impact.
The amazing part is, none of this is just a pipe dream. That coalition of rescues already exists. The 20-year dataset is actively being built right now, and actuaries are literally crunching the numbers as we speak to make sure that pension pool stays solvent for decades to come. When these three streams function together, every single stakeholder benefits. It creates a comprehensive safety net that has simply never existed before in Canada. Think about it. Parrots finally get guaranteed lifelong care without the trauma of serial relinquishment. Guardians get the ultimate peace of mind. Rescues transform from financially drained emergency responders into sustainable, funded care stewards. And policymakers finally get the disease tracking and legal standards they need to govern effectively. Everybody wins.
As this whole initiative approaches a major turning point, it asks all of us a pretty vital question. We now have the technology, the coalition, and the strategy. So consider this. Are we finally ready to step up, measure the reality, prove the need, and ensure these incredible, deeply bonded animals are never left without a plan again? I really hope this explainer on the Canadian Parrot Welfare Index has sparked some curiosity for you about the systems we build to protect the vulnerable. Take this knowledge with you and really think about how hard evidence can actually change the world.